What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky Itty Bitty Transformers Committee review, we're taking a look at something new from NEWAGE, and it is their version of a G1 cartoon swoop. Now I say that because, of course, they've got all the variants, including the toy variants and stuff like that, Shatterglass, all the things. I'm way behind on my Shatterglass collecting for NEWAGE, but they're doing all the Dinobots in a different Shatterglass thing, unlike the previous one where from DX9 they all came in kind of the Trypticon colors. So either way, so this is the regular version of FREYR, so that's number 57, and they continue on with part of the naming scheme where they go with Norse gods, and then the rest of them go with dinosaur movies. Don't know why, but you do have it here. It says Dinosaur Forces. You do see them right here. It says something right there, Bombardier FREYR. And you come to the top, you got number 57, all things, legendary heroes, and you got Dino Mode and Bot Mode. You got Dino Mode there, come on the back, or I'm sorry, Robot Mode. Dino Mode with shooting missiles. Same, all around. And I have done an out-the-box for this previously on the Patreon, so if you want to see my initial reactions and my original transforming of a thing without any instructions, by all means, go sign up for the Patreon for as little as $5 a month. You can see it for all the figures that you guys have no idea that I'm even getting. So if you always liked my figures or Transformers or other things like that, those reviews and reactions are all on Patreon. So if you want to go check that out, by all means. But until then, let's go ahead and check this guy out. Okay, so here we have Swoop in his pterodactyl mode, and I will say he looks very good and has a surprising amount of articulation in this mode. So yeah, there he is. And I would like to point out he's totally painted. I think there's only a couple spots where they don't have paint, and it's probably for movement's sake. But for the most part, it is a fully painted figure, which of course is terrifying when you are moving a whole lot of things past other things. So gray painted wings, darker gray on the legs here. Legs, backpack. It's technically a backpack at this point, Shoky. Then you've got the red there. Hold on, I want to brighten this up just a hair. Oh, wrong direction. There we go. Okay, you even get yellow paint here on the little feetums. And the only thing that does kind of suck is this weird gapping that happens here due to transformation. Just the way they engineered it, they just couldn't make this chest any cleaner. And I don't know if there's anything about that. But we do have the missile pods here on the wings, which are, I think this might actually be one of the few spots that's not painted. Yeah, this lighter gray here, not painted. The kind of gunmetal-y color is even the yellow here. It might not be painted, it might just be clear-coated, but you do have the red paint there as well. And, you know, just a little, I'm gonna guess, 3mm peg. Holy crap, where did that go? Where did... Oh, wow, that went all the way to the floor. Alright, and then, now that I've retrieved it. Okay, so one thing I want to do is point out the articulation here. You do actually have a side-to-side neck swivel. You can look up and down. You can break the sculpt a little bit, so if you wanted him to be like sitting in judgment of things, you can sort of have that, and then have the wings kind of folded in, but the missile pods get in the way. Actually, just the design in general gets in the way. Didn't think about that. So he can't fold his wings up super tight, but it is what it is. Of course, the wings can be posed in a variety of flapping motions. Nothing too crazy. I mean, he technically doesn't ever have to flap, assuming he has some sort of thrusting ability. He also has like super painted eyes. Look at this one. I mean, come on. Look at that. He's even got a little black pupil in there. That's awesome. And then you can, in fact, open his mouth, which is fun. And then hidden away inside here is a peg. So I believe one of the Grimlocks comes with like a flame effect. So you could definitely add that to that. Maybe, I don't know if any other blast effects would work. You do have these missile effects, which are for the guns, but I don't think that's going to work. No, that does not fit there. So that is for a a different thing. So, unbeknownst to the rest of the world, we don't know. And then you do have holes here on the bottom of the feet. Don't know why. Probably for a mount of some sort that we're unaware of. I have no idea. And he does come with a flight stand. It's the same kind of flight stand we've gotten before with other figures. I think the very first time we got something like this was from Shockwave, if I remember correctly. And, yeah, it does just do the thing, and it says NEWAGE on there. Hard to see, but it is what it is. I'm going to zoom out again. It was a little tight there. And speaking of those blast effects, now that I got him flying, I can show this off. So you do just do that number. So I like that they are taking diorama ideas into effect here. They're like, hey, we want to have them doing a battle. And I'm like, oh, hey, that makes sense. Let's do something like that. Okay. So you can, in fact, have some very crazy dynamic poses with your favorite pteranodon friend, like so. My focus is having a hard time. It's like, what do we look at here? Bring this up a little. Okay. Hard thing with the yellow stuff. It doesn't want to always do good. One thing I'm not going to do is show them compared with the rest of the Dinobots. It's kind of a pain, if I'm honest, to transform everybody. But what I will definitely do for the sake of coolness here is compare to the original DX9 version of Swoop, who is significantly chunkier. Also, I need to get a shot here, hold on, of him with the G1 version. So I'm going to hold this here, and I'm going to cover it with an image of the G1 cartoon. You see how close it is. But in the meantime, well, let's just pull these off for right now, because we don't need that. Get out of there. Get out of there. Alright, so, of course, you get the details that are fairly similar amongst the wings and the back here. This one has far more, like, say, I would say toy detail. Obviously, the chrome is different. Silver metallic paint here, dark, just regular kind of semi-gloss gray. Stripe idea is very similar. You can see the heads in general are similar, actually very close in size, though they do transform ever so slightly differently. Hell, even the head crest is very different. Here he's got a kind of vent and everything. It's in a backpack here. It's just a very clean backpack between the legs there. Something that does annoy me on this one is all of the bits connecting there, since those are his legs, and the dino legs and robot legs sort of share, the same position. That is very annoying to me, to have all that exposed, and you can't pose these legs because they're attached to everything. Whereas on this one, you do get a little bit of posing, not much, but you can like pull it out, and you can have him sit fairly easily like that. That one can sit, but not as convincingly. This one also has more wing articulation. This one's very, very limited. You can also see the missile launchers here are different, though. Something I'd completely forgotten about is that these actually do still remove on the old one. Way different size, so obviously that effect isn't going to work there. So this dino chest really does leave a lot to be desired, but that one does look cleaner, and they're massively different when it comes to transformation as well. They because they don't use the same parts for the same things, except for, say, the chest / head and then the leg / backpack. The way they do the arms, this one's arms become the chest and the dino feet. This one's arms just become the chest. This one also has a big gap down the middle, slides differently, has the exposed dino hands. Even on here, I mean, you have to really try to see the dino hands. They're buried up in there. Maybe one small thing they could have changed. But like I said, I often forget that he has that tail in there. And I mean, like, realistically, you don't really need it. I do like that he does have a thing there to help flip that out, but like in comparison, this one is just so much more dynamic, and not to mention, good lord, look at the size difference of the wings. Like, it dwarfs the other one's wings, even though the shape is almost the same. So definitely a step up. So let's take a break for a second and we'll come back and we will do transformation. Ready? Ready. Alright, let's get the transformation out of the way here. And first off, we want to come to the back here, and these guys are just plugged into the wings via that tab, and that tab is insanely stiff when first getting it out of the box. So, and another thing that's very stiff is this pin joint right here. There's a tiny little locking tab somewhere there that is holding all this together, and it is super stiff out of the box. So you want to go ahead and pull this down, get a little bit of room there, and shoop. There we go. I already made a leg. Looky there. And then you want to tab that there. It will give you a confirmation noise. And fold that tab away. Come to the front, open up the flap, and do your best to push the foot out. It does help once you get past a certain point. You can use the ankle rocker. Close that back up. And swing out the heel spur. Now we're going to do the same over here. Push that back. And then it will just right itself effectively, just like that. Confirmation click. Flip it open. This isn't the easiest thing in the world to get out, but if you push right there, it'll give you just enough room to get that out. And then once again, you can see here, little angle, and then do. Oh, hold on, right quick. I want to point this out. Let me zoom in on this. There's some really bad nubs right there, and I did in fact clean them up because some of them were sticking out really proud. I'd probably take a sharp knife to it and keep clearing it up because that's just really bad. I could see if they didn't clean that up enough, you'd actually end up with a really good gap. Like that's a hair, but you know, I could see it getting worse on some models. And then once again, heel spur, flip it out. And then you can just straighten up the legs. Zoom back out, dummy. Alright, so we come up here to the blue bits, and that is supposed to be tabbed in to right there, but this particular one is not super tight, so if you just kind of give it a little wiggle, it will fall out. This one, on the other hand, way tighter, and they are marked L and R. That's handy. I mean, I didn't build the thing, so having to know it's left and right doesn't really affect me. So we want to come out here and pull the arms up, and then we want to, this is on a double or triple hinge situation here, cantilevered down, and then a lot of times this neck area does not collapse properly, so it's kind of a pain. Come on. So you can see there that that hinge doesn't want to go down and in, and that's where it's supposed to be. It is kind of a problem. You're working with 6 hinges or 7 hinges all trying to close down together into the same spot. There we go. That is basically it. Now we want to swing this to the side, and then now we're going to swing this up here, and it will tab in to there. It's not a very secure tab, but it's there. Okay, so now we want to come back here, flip that open, and bring it up. It's on a double hinge. Oh, fold the tail away. It's on a little double hinge, and it will close up the backpack differently, and I think that helps align this somehow. Obvious big ass tab head there, and just swing the dyno head down. Now that's gonna sit very nicely there, and then you've got these little red pieces here for the dyno cheeks, and you just want to push those in to the best of your ability. Sit them flat down, grab your wings, fold them down like so, and then in. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And then in. And I forgot that I'm missing the ends there. All right, so for the arms, grab, extend, and then fold down, rotate, so you get your elbows prominent. Flip out the hands. Once again, elbow, rotate, flip up the hand, and then down. And there we go. There is Swoopington K. Swoopville. Captain Swoops. Alright, Swoops McGee in his robot mode. And it is a fun transformation, fairly easy to figure out. It was just difficult with the original go at it because some of the joints are real stiff. It's one of the only things about Transformers is sometimes it do be like that. But that's it. Take another quick break, and we'll be right back for the rest of the review. Alright guys, so here is FREYR in his robot mode, and, well, looks pretty dang good. You can see I already got some nice poses going on here, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's actually really very good. I'm gonna let me just stand him up straight, and we'll do a comparison to an image from G1. I believe we always have like a stance like this. Let me gotta get that foot to sit flat. It will. I just have it awkward. There we go. So let's try that there. Comparison. Put it up there, me. I mean, like, they kind of nailed the colors and stuff like that, so it's pretty awesome. The only thing I couldn't really capture was the right size Autobot logo there on the chest / snout. So I gotta adjust some lighting here. And yeah. So he does have a ball joint mounted neck. Hold on, I've got an ab crunch going on here. Ball joint mounted neck, but then also a bit of a hinge up, so he can look kind of down. I don't know why he would, but he can. And then he can look around. And if you want to, you can move the head crest a little bit, depending on how you like it. So that's good. Shoulders, you do have a pivot joint here and then one there, so you can get all the way up. And then you got a nice universal joint that would get you all the way around if the wings weren't in the way. I mean, you can sort of do it that way. Bicep swivel there. Double jointed elbow. And of course a hand that can fold away, because why wouldn't it? That's one of my few gripes, is that there's nothing to lock that hand in place. And the wrist does rotate, so that's fine. He does come without those, so you gotta be careful when you put them on. One thing, another nitpick here is sometimes when you're moving the body around, these panels will come unplugged, is what it is. So he does have ab articulation and waist rotation, but you have to pull the dyno head out a bit. I mean, it'll sort of do it on its own, so if you tilt it forward, you know, you can get that, and then you lean back, and you can rotate like so. You're just going to have to deal with it otherwise. And the backpack itself does also hinder some of that hip movement, but that is, you know, how it's got to be. Coming down to the legs, you do have some front skirts that can flip up, allowing you to kick forward that far. He's limited to going back, although he does have a butt skirt. That's what's interesting. So he's got a whole butt flap situation going on there. So in theory, you know, you could always move things out of the way and get a little bit more dynamic posing, but that's up to you. You can do a perfect Jean-Claude and thigh rotation, and if you're keen, bent thigh there for some extra movement, but that's going to be pretty loose in your goings on. The knee is single jointed knee that goes to there. I mean, double jointed if you want to go crazy, but you completely break the sculpt, so it is what it is. So realistically, if you get to about a 90, if you're going to leave it all around. Also, I don't know why these are here. Unless there's something you're supposed to be able to peg that onto. There's those holes in the bottom of the dyno feet. So, it is what it is. Okay, ankle. You got a heck of a rocker, like so. And then all the toe tilt you can appreciate. And then a heel spur to boot. So, pretty much, that's what you got going for you there. Now, the only weapons he has in this form is his shoulder missiles, so he can hold that like you do. And just like with the, you know, flight mode, you can use the rocket shooting powers if you're keen on it. But the other accessories he does come with are a couple of open hands with a bit of a swivel. It's got a little bit of a swivel in the wrist. Yep. Of course, the hard part is plugging in the wrist, because there's nothing to push against in there. So, I wonder, can I collapse the elbow and do that better? Let me see. Nope, that literally doesn't help. That's annoying. I haven't actually done this before, so I've only just unplugged these hands right before the review. So that is a major problem in my mind, because there's no good way to block that up. I don't have a spudger handy, do I? No, unfortunately I do not. I'm just short on everything today. Hold on, I have a tiny screwdriver here. Maybe that'll help. I just want to push back on the inside so I can do this. There. Good Lord. So, you guys know I like to do my reviews live, not pre-recorded, not voiced over, none of that. So, you can get that effect, and you can get that wrist up. I think pretty much all the Dinobots come with these kind of hands at this point. Actually, I think pretty much all of the figures basically come with these hands in one way or another. They just reprint the same things. At least the last few figures I've gotten, only a handful of them, no pun intended, have hands on them. So, I mean, it is what it is. And let's see here. I don't have a whole lot of other figures out here for comparison, but I do have his other Dinobot friends. So, Swoop is the shortest Dinobot. So, I mean, but he's still big. I mean, he's still bigger than Prime. He's still bigger than Megatron. And I'm sorry, I don't have those out at the moment. But what I do have is a long-awaited Wally. He's just been sitting out here off to the side, wondering why he's not in any reviews anymore. So, and go ahead and get the new boys out of here, because we have to bring in the old boy. And there we go. Here is the old original DX9 Swoop. Very much the predecessor. And yeah, you can see there's significant differences in design, and well, the deco is different because this one's chrome and has silver stuff. This one's got the gray, more cartoon accurate thing. One thing that was a major difference between this one and this one is, you notice there's no little feet resting here, and that's part of the actual design, But I mean, you got a lot of the similarities there with the red stripes on the legs, the darker bit on the forearms. The chest does, of course, feature very similarly, although these bits stick out, these go in. Obviously a lot more panel detailing here, and the face being silver changes things up a little bit. Not a bad sculpt realistically, but I think this one is actually more accurate. I never do like versus, like, actually put it up, two of the same character side by side, like, in comparison. I mean, he's got ball joints, he's got normal double jointed elbows, he's got black hands, he's got gray hands. The missile pods here are extremely different. Backpacks are extremely different. Obviously, the massively hollow legs here, these where, somehow I forgot to fold up those tabs. I mean, you can even see the wings fold away very differently. Of course, these being chrome does make it a little bit different. This one feels more like a toy representation. This one feels far more like the thing, even though, of course, the original toy never necessarily looked this way or came to the U.S. proper. I think that wasn't the myth. I don't remember if we ever got the Swoop. I know he was red, like he was never blue, so that makes me wonder. And of course, the transformation is very different. I mean, you get the same results ultimately, but this one uses the robot arms for the feet. This one uses the robot arms for just part of the chest to fill things out. This one uses a lot more flipping flipping of bits around. This one uses a lot more of collapsing panels and moving stuff around in slides. So very, very different, you know, probably close to 5-6 years in engineering differences, which is pretty cool. And of course we did see the difference in pterodactyl mode, but you know, here we are. Also non-swappable hands, swappable hands. You know, I do think, I'm trying to remember if he came with a sword. I don't even know where all my DX9 accessories are, if I'm honest with you. That's one thing that does kind of suck about the New Age stuff is, you know, everybody wants all the accessories to begin with. Like, just give us all the stuff. And New Age decided that they're not going to do that. The other thing is, I don't think he technically has a place to plug the stand on. Like, if you wanted to do him flying, there's nothing you could really do because he doesn't have a crotch peg, and the hole for that is there. That's not going to really work. So if you wanted him flying in bot mode, you couldn't really do it. So there is that. But either way, guys, that's going to be it for this swoop review. Of course, go check out the Taro video where I show you how to get him back into pterodactyl mode. That'll come out the same day, so if you missed it, it'll be there. And you can check out all the other New Age and or DX9, you know, Transformers reviews. There'll be a whole big playlist if you're interested in all of that. But until next time, guys, remember as always, keep on nerding. Or birding. Wait, that might be a thing.